I said, well, I am basically here to tell you, that's a version of the American expression, I'm here to tell you, but I said it with a Welsh accent, did you notice that? Mainly because I'm in Wales and I'm becoming Welsh, and becoming Welsh involves fiddling around with leashes and lanyards. No, it doesn't. It involves becoming, well, I can't explain actually, well versed in opposing assumptions. I say that, it's not a small becoming me really. When somebody comes up to you and sort of assumes that you should be ashamed of yourself, I say, really? You care to detail exactly why? Or just go, really? Oh, oh I'm shocked that you're not shocked and shame, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, like man, but. I say that because I'm trying to highlight that the Celtic people of England are not that far distant from the Welsh people, because they say, when in Wales they say pet, no, they say but, no, some people say, Scots say but, Liverpudlians say pet, and other people say mun and but. So there's short things and they're all very similar. They're all very similar mindset. Anyway, I just had a very satisfactory lunch, and it's see, my feet aren't very good. I'm not very good at standing up, so I come in, I'm exhausted. I need to just collapse and throw things in my mouth. I have to stand up to make it first, so it has to be very quick. Oh God, I hope the neighbours aren't listening. They're going to think I'm nuts. What I discovered is that cheap as chips, can of tomatoes, can be the most exquisite sort of Mediterranean style snack. So what I did was I sort of gazpachoed it and toasted it, which is very posh. I've been to a very, very, very poor family in Spain who lived in a tiny flat with a tiny table in the middle of the kitchen, and there was only about 3 inches to the wall each side. I'm exaggerating, but you get the gist. You couldn't get round if there was anybody sitting at the table. We all had to get up. It was tiny. And they had 2 rooms and they all slept in a corner, all this sort of stuff. I don't think that sort of thing goes on in the city, but it does. And they fed us, because they're fucking fantastic hosts, they fed us a meal, and it was bread and tomato, and it was called gazpacho, and it's basically, I can't remember, but I think it's got vinegar and chilli in it, and you have it with toast, and it's called gazpacho con tosta. It sounds very exotic, but it is really nice. So I gazpachoed my tomato, put vinegar in the jar, in the tin, and then just, rather than do anything fancy, I just spooned it onto the bread, which variously had mayonnaise, tartar sauce, hummus, lemon juice, just mix and match, because that's what they do with their toaster. They have a little set of about 5 dishes where I had it. This is what truck drivers have at 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, rather 7 probably. I thought it's probably 7. And along with their carajillo, which is a small amount of brandy in their coffee, so that just to take the edge off it, but not over the limit. And they have a whole set of these things, just like I just did. Maybe I've got a little bit of the Mediterranean in me, you know, something like this. But I love the odd mix and match. I don't like the English sort of, I'm going to have strawberries and strawberry jam and marmalade, and that's it. I'm going to have marmalade, try a bit of Marmite with it, maybe mix the marmalade, blah, 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 as you know. So there you are. You can all have a jolly good laugh at me, or you can experiment. I would. But yeah, I don't think I would have been accepted had there been anybody else president, because I was being badly behaved in the way I ate it because I was so grumpy and tired and hungry. I was really. It's funny how that's frowned upon, isn't it? But it should be a compliment because you're liking the food, wolfing it down. I mean, it's okay up until the age of about 10. You're allowed to do that, and it's sweet, quaint, and endearing. And after that, it's too animal. The women might lose control. What? What are you talking about? This will make it into shorts, so I might as well carry on. What should I talk about now? Carry on films? Does anybody want to buy a sort of what I call a pyramid? Because pyro is the beginnings of anything to do with fire, and it's a pyramid. And obviously it didn't quite make it to Carnaby Street or Covent Garden, or out of my garden for that matter. Actually, it was in a pub garden for a bit, till they realised that they could move it, and they chucked it in the flower bed. So, I'm Too Handsome to Be Homeless by a band called Baby Bird or something. Baby Bird's very vulnerable. Very vulnerable to birds of prey. Apart from that, I don't know what to tell you. There's some flowers down here mixed in with these buggers. But these are bad, but then they get fantastic fruit. We ought to harvest them. We really ought to, and then we could turn it all into packaging, because this is very, very strong growers. They're the strongest growing bastard crop in the world. Why don't we make packaging out of that and make blackberries? But we'd have to have some sort of deal where they only grow where we agree, and otherwise they're very naughty. And they scratch. Not very nice. And they trip you up as well, because they grow along the grind. You would have to have some sort of peace deal. Talking of which, Russia, don't know, Ronald Trump, Ronald McDonald, Russell Brand. Funny that he's got a name Brand, because he's very much a marketing man, isn't he? Brand is the brand. Don't know whether they'll find him guilty or not, whether it depends what the law is. Are you allowed to plan a seduction these days? The suggestion is you're not allowed to misrepresent yourself in any way that, well, it's more than frowned upon, it's illegal. And they'll just put him in prison because he talks too much, don't they? I think. Golf is a waste of a good walk, many said. I prefer golf. Football golf is far more interesting, I think. More fun. We actually got a course in once a year, and the holes are about that big. From my head to my hand there. That big. That's the diameter of the hole. Quite easy. From like 6 foot. It's easier to do than a golfing putt, I find. But you've got to wear the right footwear, haven't you? Trying to get the bumper beam off my vehicle. I've got to get a pipe. Before I'm going to nod off for about 10 minutes. I don't feel sleepy there. Very light lunch, tomato and toast, very light, see? You can keep going. Keep on doing what you're doing. I've got to get a pipe so I can wrench the nut off. I think what I'll do is wind it back on a bit and put a bit of easing oil on it. Wouldn't you agree? I really am waffling on now. I suppose I'm lonely, really. No, I'm not lonely. You can be lonely in a group of people that are quite determined to find you inappropriate and irrelevant. So I suppose in my mad dream, some people on the other end of this are finding me not completely irrelevant and inappropriate, but many of them are. Oh, what was that? I'm sort of buoyed. Anyway, point is, Tosta, look it up, Tosta. It's basically Spanish for toast. Toast and tomato soup, basically. Very good.